and you're live.
Good evening. Well, look at this party. Welcome to the Tahoe-Truckee Unified School District Board meeting of February 19th. The board did meet in closed session with no reportable action. And now we will do a Pledge of Allegiance. Missy, come on. Start us off. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Closing that up. Superintendent Kramer, is there any adjustments to the agenda?
No changes.
The only note that I will make, though, is I do have on my copy that was, I'm not sure if this was posted. Okay.
You are correct that in the first reads in section 15, there are 4 listed as action. That's incorrect. It's all info only.
Okay.
So that should say info.
Thank you.
Yep.
Would anyone care to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented with those corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, here we go. At this point, we have public comment for any items that are not listed on the agenda. If you have public comment for those items, we would ask that you speak at those items, timed. And I have no sheets. Does anyone have any public comment? Thank you. Seeing none, we'll close public comment and move to 8. Oh, school showcase. Superintendent Kramer, who do we got?
President Driller, I am so excited tonight to have North Tahoe High School come share some highlights of their school. And tonight we have Assistant Principal Jason Fleesock here to introduce the team. So, Mr. Fleesock.
Excuse me, weren't you selling Girl Scout cookies?
I feel like all I do nowadays is sell Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, our Girl Scouts right there in the audience. Well, good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Jason Fleesock. I'm the assistant principal at North Tahoe High School, and I'm pleased to be here tonight to take you on a journey through North Tahoe High School and all the great things we have going on this year. We've got a whole group of students here to share some of the different things that are happening in our building, and like I said, very excited to show you guys some of that. And Joanna Mitchell, our principal, will be here. She was not expecting the Martis Valley traffic in the afternoon. Just click right here. Okay. So starting, we want to kind of take a look at some of the college and career field trips. It's been a big focus of our school as we want to make sure all of our graduates are fully college and career ready by the time they leave our school. So some of the trips we've already been able to do this year our ELD 3-4 students, mainly our senior ELD students, did a trip recently to LTCC and got a chance to see some of the great programs that are offered there. 3 years free community college as an option there. And LTCC is just recently finishing a residential facility. So it's a great option for a lot of our students. So it was a great experience for them. We've also took a big group of our students to Universal Technical Institute down in Sacramento, as well as arranging cosmetology field trips down in Reno. Our career technician was able to arrange those trips, and students were able to go and see those facilities as well. Our workability coordinator, Kelly Lanzaroni, was able to also coordinate some trips. We had some ELD and CTE pathway students go to TMCC to view some of the trade programs that are there. They have incredible trade opportunities for a lot of our students there. Our Sports Med 2 students got to go to the annual sports medicine seminar down at the Golden One Center. I think it's our 3rd year doing the symposium where there are sports medicine stations set up around the facility, and then the Sports Med 2 students got to stay for a Sacramento Kings game. I don't think they won that night. Our AP Environmental Science students had a trip to Blackwood Canyon, more so for some field research they were doing out there. Our 11th grade U.S. history students, oh, there she is, got to, and this was early in the school year, went to the Gatekeepers Museum right there at the dam in Tahoe City, and really got to have a great experience, a live history experience, as well as an escape room. You want to come in?
What?
You want to come in?
Hi. There's a lot of traffic.
And then our Linnea Drama Festival, which also was, I believe, in the fall we did.
They just went actually to Folsom a couple weeks ago.
Yep. So lots of great field trips already at this point in the school year.
So we do allocate about $12,000 of our Title I money to do college trips.
And next I'm going to bring up a couple of our GRIT students to share more about our GRIT program and all the great things we have going on with GRIT this year.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jesly Nevares. And I'm Carolina Alberto. And we're both juniors from North Tahoe High School. Our GRIT program continues to be an integral part of our commitment to support first-generation prospective college students and families prepared for academic pathways for high school. The team is made up from teachers, counselors, and administrators who are dedicated to helping us accomplish our goals.
In addition to personalized academic coaching sessions this year, the GRIT team introduced GRIT seminars that focus on building community and are held 3 times a year, as well as a grade-specific course planning sessions to offer additional guidance when planning classes.
Some highlights from this year, we have held an alumni panel of holiday cookie party where alumni shared the lessons they learned in college and the military with GRIT families. The staff at North Tahoe High School nominated 8th graders for the GRIT program, and our freshman students presented it to them last week.
We are happy that art continues to be an integral part to our GRIT program. Freshmen in College and Career Readiness 9 completed the Rising Community Leaders program. The ARC Lunch Club continues to be a presence in school, and students have been participating in more weekend trips this year. We have a lot to look forward to, including a college tour in the Bay Area for GRIT juniors and the seniors finalizing their postgraduate plans.
And that's it. Sorry. Thank you.
Kate Teller was going to join us with some of our English learners to talk about ELAC, but she was behind me in that line on 267. So, but we've done a lot to expand our ELAC participation this year based on the community engagement initiative work that we've done. We have built our membership that comes regularly from 0 to 2 to we had 24 at our last meeting, and our ELAC parent president ran the meeting, which was awesome. So we're getting more involvement with the parents deciding what topics for us to cover and just really taking ownership of the group. We're really excited about that.
We've also made a concerted effort as an administrative team to strengthen our partnership with our parent community at our school. We've done this in a few different ways. This year we started a parent collaborative series. Over the summer, I sent out a survey to parents to kind of see what kinds of topics they would like to see as kind of focus points of collaboration with the school and some of the things they're seeing with their children at home. By far, the most popular topic was parenting in the digital age, where we kind of focused on some of the issues brought up in the book Anxious Generation and kind of how it frames and balances kind of the issues of anxiety and mental health issues we're seeing with students and their technology dependence. So we put together a presentation and a collaboration session with our parents. We have 2 more coming up later this year, one on teen driving in collaboration with the CHP, and a third on vaping and substance use. We also do Coffee with Admin every month, first Tuesday of every month. Here in the office. And then we also kind of revamped our parent and student newsletter. Thanks to Amber Burke, we got some training with our S'more platform to kind of revamp that letter. We send this newsletter out weekly on Fridays in both English and in Spanish. And it's fully comprehensive about all the things we have going on at the school and what's coming up in the weeks ahead. Another big piece was kind of giving more attention to how we recognize not just staff on campus, but our students and our community members. So every single month, we do Student of the Month recognitions. We do 4 total at the high school, 1 per grade. And the nominations really focus not just academic achievement, but also character and improvement in our students. We also do an Educators of the Month, which is nominated by staff. There's also a Tireless Teacher of the Month, which is nominated and voted on by our students. The students actually have a giant tire that they deliver to the winning staff member, and they chant on their way to deliver that tire. And then also we do a Community Member of the Month, and this is nominated by our admin team, and we want to make sure we recognize all the hard work that some of our community members do to support our efforts at the school. We have a poster we have in the lobby for recognizing these monthly. We post it on our social media pages, weekly announcements, and our newsletters. And our newsletters kind of give a blurb as to kind of the work that the students have been doing, why they were nominated, and why they're being recognized.
Wait, we have someone that's already on that picture that's on the, if you go back. Yeah, you're famous.
Kynan was one of our Students of the Month earlier this year, yeah.
And Sasha.
Oh, Sasha also, yeah. All right.
We've been doing quite a bit of professional development work, all centered around our clarity. We've been working on learning intentions, differentiation, a lot of work with ELD training, focusing on using strategies to support our English learners, and also Carnegie Math. And we continue our work with academic discourse. We've also done a lot of work with wellness and bonding for our staff. We have at least 2 events monthly. One is a social where everyone gets together on a Friday after work once a month. And then we do activities like we just did a staff snowshoeing. We have a ski day. We have bowling, and for staff appreciation, we do massages, they're like 15 minutes. But we do that. And so we're putting a lot of effort into creating activities to bring our staff together. And now, Kynan is going to talk about our new video editing class, and maybe we can play a video.
All right, so as I've just been introduced, my name is Kynan Burke. I'm in our video production class for North Tahoe High School. I'm also a senior, and I was nominated Student of the Month for October. I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that we've been doing in video production class, and especially how it's been helping students. So first off, we've been using our resources to have editing software on our MacBooks. We've been using this software to go out and collect footage using our various cameras and other things that we've used with the budget. And then with this, we go on to our editing software of choice, which is Filmora. And we use that to go and trim these projects and set reasonable both expectations and deadlines for these projects to get done by. And then once they are done, we have certain projects and skills that we're developing to get these out there in places, especially in the coming digital age with so much self-advertising to be done, even finding jobs. It's a very useful skill. And today I had a couple of videos to show you. I don't know how I work this thing. Oh, okay. So that video was made through a combination of found and gotten footage. That was not personally my video, but just demonstrates, the skills that we've been putting into place. And the time-lapse footage there shown was all self-captured with the stuff that we've been provided with through the class. So it's been a very awesome experience, and I hope it gets continued. I'll give the mic to somebody else.
No, we're just doing one.
Yeah.
Stop it. Okay.
Hi, I'm Q Williams. I'm an 11th grader at North Tahoe, and I am one of the presidents and founders of the new art club at North Tahoe. This was our most successful year so far. Well, it was our second year. But we've painted all of the main bathrooms at our school, as you can see. One is not pictured because it was painted by a previous senior. We painted the first one, which was the girls, is the mountains. Then we painted the boys' bathrooms at the same time, which added up to a total of 40 hours. And that really brought a community out in all of the people who work together. We found out how to work with people, how to have hope and stamina when we're working for long hours. After our first mural, we realized we need some money, so with the community that was created, we raised $700 for our future projects, which was in the span of 3 sales, I think. It was really great. We founded the art club to create a space for artists and people who want to be artists, and for them to learn new things, meet new people, and spread creativity across the school campus. Creativity is really crucial, especially in today's digital age. Being off your phone is really important, it's really important because it can help you find new ways to solve problems both in school and outside of school, and the art club really helps boost that. It also helps unite people, as I said before, and the community holds an increased passion and love for art. We had so many staff members and classmates really excited for the sales we had back in December. Yeah, it's just a really nice community to have, and the club is so nice. All the people are really great. I mean, we've basically created our own friend group. We eat in the art room when we don't even have clubs, and we hang out outside of school. I would have never seeked to hang out with these people before. So it's a really nice thing. Thank you.
And I do want to say that we were a little bit skeptical about painting the boys' bathroom and how that would be received, but they did a great job of, they surveyed students to see what they wanted in the bathroom so that they had buy-in into that, and the students have been super respectful and appreciative of the work that they've done to make the bathrooms really pleasant.
Hello. We are the presidents of the North Tahoe High Enviolution Club, a climate action club mentored by SWEP. And we have over 25 active members right now.
This year, our club's
Will you just introduce yourself so we have it on record how famous you are?
My name is Hannah Asher. I'm a junior.
ask me. My name is Sarah Kenny. I'm a senior.
Oh, and I'm Sasha Banks. I'm a sophomore.
Okay. This year, our club's climate action has been to address the waste problem during lunch. In December, several members of our club worked with the head of food services, Kat Saltamarad, TTUSD Sustainability Director, Erica Mertens, and SWEP staff to conduct a lunch waste audit. The results showed that the majority of waste during lunch was coming from food waste and single-use disposables.
To address this problem, we worked with food services and facilities and our school administrators to implement collection carts, which we bring out into the hallways during lunch so we can expand our food waste collection efforts.
meaning that more food waste can be composted rather than landfilled because so many students eat outside of the cafeteria. Our club also supported the implementation of reusable dishes to eliminate single-use disposables. Now students get their meals on reusable plates with reusable silverware. We are proud to share that these two initiatives, expanded food waste collection and the shift to reusables, have made a big difference in reducing waste at our school site.
However, we know that reusing and recycling aren't enough, and that the real difference will come when students rethink and reduce the amount of food and other items they throw away. We're working on an education and outreach campaign that highlights the high-quality food in our cafeteria. The produce is 100% organic and sourced from farms in a 50-mile radius from our school. Our beef is raised sustainably on a regenerative agriculture ranch in Northern California. We want to educate our students on the incredible quality and sustainability of our food so we can reduce waste.
Finally, we would like to thank our school chefs, custodians, and staff that have been supportive in these changes and helping our club take climate action. Thank you.
And that was just an overview of all the new and exciting things that are happening at North Tahoe High School this year. Thank you. Oh, do you have any questions?
That was awesome. Thank you, students, so much for coming out here and doing that. This is the highlight of our life. Superintendent Kramer always hates going after these kind of things because you guys definitely show us up. Does the board have any comments?
Just a few comments. Thanks for doing the presentation. It's always helpful for us, even though we get to go into the schools and kind of see firsthand. It's always helpful to have you come to us too, so that we can kind of get it from your perspective versus us being a little bit of a voyeur when we go into the setting. But I think the one thing that struck me about North Tahoe is just pride. Like when everyone comes and does presentations or I'm in the school, I just get this really great sense of pride in the school. And it's interesting because my daughter's actually in the Enviolution Club, and she said, it's so nice, the girls from North Tahoe are just like the nicest, and all the people are so friendly, and she's like, that's such a great school. And so you can see how that sense of pride is actually, you know, going into other schools and other students, sort of how they feel about our district overall. So I think that's a success. And I would say too that Truckee High needs to have some art club help with their bathrooms and their cafeteria, because they really don't have the same sort of connection that way. So I think you guys are doing great things. I think, you know, other schools can look at this and just see the successes that you have, and I think it's awesome. So we just appreciate when you guys come and share with us.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I think I'm just always so impressed with the fact that you are small but mighty over there, and you're so creative about not ever letting it become a monotonous experience as a student at your school. So I commend you tremendously for creating excitement, creating interest, and also using like innovative approaches towards solving problems and empowering our youth into feeling like they can make a difference and play a role. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have no comments. No, I love this school. I think you guys did a great job. I was really psyched that you guys took part in all of it. That makes a big deal. And as these other board members did indicate, it definitely shows that you guys are a solid unit, work hard to get things done. And innovative is, I think you guys were the first to do a lot of different things. And it's kind of cool. We are small. You are able to do stuff, and you know, like you have a better connection with some of these people because you can't get away from us. We're all right here. But I think it's kind of neat that the relationship you have with administration as well as your other peers enables you to do some of the crazy things that you want to do, which is great. The bathrooms are kind of fun. Did you guys have to do it after hours then?
Yes, we did. We did it over 2 weekends.
So that means you've got 2 weekends of credit of homework, right? So I would just...
Community service.
That was awesome. Thank you guys so much. Belong. So wait, is that, Mitchell, that's holiday traffic from North Star?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Why would people ski? I'm going to move on to 9.0.
Yes. And we understand if the North Tahoe High School students and team want to sneak your way out. I know it's been a long day. Thank you so much for coming. So at this time, it is my pleasure to invite up to the podium our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Ed Hilton, and then our SWEP leadership team. If you wouldn't mind standing just where the students were standing, that would be great. Your board. Okay. Well, good evening, board, cabinet, and our community. It is our pleasure tonight to be recognizing one of our amazing, outstanding community partners. For 30 years this year, Watershed Educational Partnership, fondly known as SWEP, has been an invaluable partner, fostering a deep connection between our students and the natural world.
Through their tireless fundraising efforts and exceptional instruction, SWEP has provided countless opportunities for our students to engage in hands-on outdoor learning experiences.
SWEP's diverse programs, such as Wonders of Watersheds, Winter Discovery, and Sage Hen Field Days, have not only enriched our students' understanding of environmental science, but also instilled in them a sense of responsibility and stewardship for our local ecosystems. Their commitment to providing equitable access to these programs ensures that all students, regardless of background, have the chance to explore the wonders of our region.
Beyond their educational programs, SWEP has played a crucial role in promoting sustainability within our schools and community. Their trash and show assemblies, waste reduction initiatives, and partnerships with local organizations have raised awareness and inspired action towards a more sustainable future.
And we so appreciate the North Tahoe students being a great example tonight of the work that SWEP does. So SWEP's commitment to environmental education extends beyond their individual programs. They have been active partners in our strategic plan, outdoor education, and environmental literacy workgroup, collaborating with district stakeholders and community partners to develop a comprehensive and engaging outdoor education and environmental literacy plan for our schools. Their expertise and insights have been invaluable in shaping this plan, ensuring it aligns with our district goals and provides meaningful learning experiences for all students.
Furthermore, SWEP's contributions were instrumental in TTUSD receiving the prestigious Gold California Green Ribbon Schools Award in 2017 and the Green Achiever California Green Ribbon Schools Award in 2018. These recognitions highlight the district's commitment to academic excellence and sustainability, made possible in large part by SWEP's dedication and partnership.
SWEP's dedication to environmental literacy and outdoor education has had a profound impact on our students, empowering them to become informed and engaged citizens who are committed to protecting our natural resources. Their work has not only enhanced our students' academic experience, but also fostered a lifelong love of learning and a deep appreciation for the environment.
For their outstanding contributions to the educational community, we are honored to present SWEP with this award. Their dedication to environmental education and sustainability has made a lasting impact on our students and community, and we are grateful for their partnership.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, that's very special.
And we'd like to invite you, if you'd like to say something, you're more than welcome to, and then we're going to do a group photo up front here.
Oh, yes.
But no pressure, you don't have to speak if you don't want to.
Well, I just want to acknowledge what great partners you have been and what a fun journey this has been, working with children, getting them outside, working with the educators, just partnering with all of you. It's been an honor, and we've enjoyed every bit of it.
Guys, let's get a picture.
I want to just have Thank you, SWEP and team. And then Superintendent Kramer, I'm going to move it back to 10.0 when you are ready.
And President Driller, you're correct that it's a tough act to follow these schools and these amazing students. Oh my goodness. So to begin, I want to express my gratitude to our students and families for their strong attendance today. This year marks the implementation of our revised school calendar, which eliminated Ski Skate Week. And we saw the impacts this afternoon with Principal Mitchell and Mrs. Teller dealing with the traffic. But I'm pleased to share that our attendance rates today were comparable to a typical Monday or Friday. And at least our AM bus routes were not delayed at all today with traffic. So we appreciate the partnership of our community in ensuring students are present in school as much as possible. And we'll continue to monitor attendance, bus, and independent study data throughout the week to identify any unforeseen issues related to the calendar change. I would also like to remind everyone that the TK and kindergarten preview nights begin next week. Tahoe Lake Elementary will host prospective families next Thursday, February 27th at 5:30 p.m. And I encourage everyone to visit the TTUSD website for the dates and times of our other TK and Kinder preview nights, which go for the next 5 weeks. Additionally, I'd like to congratulate the 31 students from grades 4th through 8th who competed in our 2025 TTUSD District Spelling Bee last week. These students earned their spots as top finishers from each grade on classroom tests taken earlier in the year. We're incredibly proud of their accomplishments and look forward to see if any qualify for the county spelling bee in March. And then, as you know, I typically do a district strategic plan update, but Assistant Superintendent Sean Roderick will be providing a mid-year LCAP presentation later in tonight's board meeting. And this presentation includes updates on all 3 of our strategic focus areas. So we'll talk about our academic achievement. It will give metrics on support systems and community connections. So tonight I will not be doing a specific district strategic plan update. And so with that, that concludes my update.
Thank you, thank you. I know it is tough to follow. Moving on to 11.0 grant.
And for this item, we will turn to our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Mrs. Sean Roderick.
Good evening, and thank you, Superintendent Kramer, President Driller, members of the Board of Trustees, and community members. Excellent in Education has generously awarded a $32,000 grant to support CTE programs in the Tahoe-Truckee Unified School District. This significant contribution will benefit our students by funding targeted field trips for our CTE programs. These immersive field trips will provide invaluable real-world learning opportunities, allowing students to connect their classroom studies directly to their chosen career pathways. Students will engage in hand-on activities from learning from industry experts in their respective fields and gaining a first-hand understanding of the professional landscape. This grant will enable our students to explore careers within their pathways. Furthermore, this will enhance work-based learning opportunities by bridging the gap between education and industry. These enhanced opportunities provide students with practical skills, making them more prepared for future employment. We are incredibly grateful to Excellence in Education for their commitment to our students and their investment in the future of our CTE programs. Their support will make a lasting difference in the lives of our students. We deeply appreciate their partnership. It is the staff's recommendation that Board of Trustees accepts this generous grant from Excellence in Education.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Roderick. Any comments from the board on that small number?
Just thanks. That's a huge amount.
Again, that's is with Excellence in Ed, and again, it's another huge partnership that we have been fortunate to have. $32,000 is a lot, so that's wonderful. And I did read that it's district-wide, so there will be access to everybody on it, which is just amazing. So with that, would anyone care to make a motion for 11.1?
I'll make a motion to accept the grant from Excellence in Ed.
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Thank you for that. Moving to 12.0 consent. Is there any items that need to be pulled from cabinet?
None
Nope.
from staff.
Anything from you guys? Nope. A motion to approve the consent as presented.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then that moves us to 14.0 Educational Services, Superintendent Kramer.
Yes, and for this item, we will turn back to Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you, Superintendent Kramer. Tonight, I will provide an overview of our mid-year progress on the Local Control and Accountability Plan, or LCAP. Tonight's presentation will include data from the California School Dashboard, our local assessments, and preliminary results from our LCAP survey, incorporating feedback from students, staff, and families. California Senate Bill 114 requires school districts to present a mid-year report to the Board of Trustees by February 28th of each year. This presentation will briefly review the mid-year results of our LCAP metrics, our current progress on planned actions, and our current expenditures for those actions. In the mid-year report, we will indicate our current progress using 3 criteria: unknown, in progress, and known. LCAP Goal 1. By 2026-2027, TTUSD will provide effective, evidence-based instruction for all students to pursue pathways of personal interest and earn a high school diploma. This update examines metrics acknowledging our success and areas where we need to focus our efforts. We will review our baseline data from the 2022-2023 academic year, compare it to our current mid-year data for the 2024-2025 school year, and remind ourselves of our targets for the 2026-2027 academic year. Within LCAP Goal 1, in December, I shared our CASP results, which showed decreases in both ELA and math. To address this, we have implemented several strategies to support our students and encourage growth. I will share these strategies at the end of this goal. We used the DIBELS assessment for kindergarten through 2nd grade. Our baseline was 54% at or above standard, and we've seen a positive increase to 65% mid-year, exceeding our target of 64%. It is important to note that these metrics are considered in progress, meaning we are actively working toward establishing our goals. In December, I shared our results from the California School Board Dashboard, and during this time, I reviewed metrics 1.5 through 1.8. We will report no changes or updates in metrics 1.5, 1.6, and 1.8 at the mid-year review. To improve graduation rates, metric 1.7, we have taken a couple of steps. First, a new graduation pathway was created for students with disabilities to earn a high school diploma rather than a certificate of completion. Second, the Credit Recovery Summer School Program was redesigned to provide focused interventions that help students complete their coursework. Metric 1.9, AP passage rates, we share that North Tahoe High School maintains a 73% passage rate with a desired outcome of 83%. Truckee High School maintains a 31% passage rate with a desired outcome of 41%. Regarding metric 1.10, we have some exciting news. Our English learner reclassification. Our baseline reclassification rate was 7.5%, representing 43 students. We are happy to report that our mid-year rate already reached 20% with 106 students reclassified. This surpassed our target of 15%. Regarding metric 1.11, the early assessment program is for 11th graders. The EAP uses 4 levels to measure readiness for college-level coursework and ELA and math. We're focusing on levels 3 and 4, which indicate college readiness and for college-bearing college courses. In ELA, we saw a slight increase in level 4 from 28.3% to 28.7%, while Level 3 decreased from 34.8% to 31.34%. Our targets are 38% for Level 4 and 44% for Level 3. In math, we have seen positive movement. Level 4 increased from 15.2% to 25.84%, and Level 3 increased from 18.3% to 23.53%. Our targets are 25% for Level 4 and 28% for Level 3. The math EAP scores demonstrate progress, while ELA scores present a mixed picture, highlighting an area of continued focus. We are committed to continuous improvement in all metrics for Goal 1 and will continue refining our strategies to ensure all students reach their full potential. The following slides will track the financial progress of various goals for Action 1. We will report on current expenditures to date. Implementing the K-12 math curriculum was an intricate part of the LCAP. This is a critical area for us, and we budgeted $600,000 for this work. However, as of the first interim report, our estimated actual spending has reached $714,855, which means we're currently over budget in this area. We allocated $248,505 in our budget for teacher collaboration time. To date, we have spent an estimated $181,103, leaving us currently under budget. We are pleased with the progress in providing dedicated collaboration time for our teachers. Our commitment to supporting our English learners is evident in our designated ELD instruction and professional development action. For this, we budgeted $762,927, and to date, we have spent $438,770 and are currently under budget.
Could I ask just a clarifying question? You say that that's the first interim for our actuals, and we're over budget with the implementation. I'm assuming that we have on 1.3 and 1.4, we still have additional money to use for the other. It was like we're not done with the collaboration time for teachers. So, right. Okay. So we've already. I would imagine that we've spent the money on the implementation, and then we won't have money. That 714 shouldn't go up any higher.
No, that would
Okay.
be-
And so that we still have room. Just I'm looking at. Can we give? We'll have more time for teachers and that kind of stuff. That's 1.3 and 1.4.
Correct.
We can still spend money.
Yep.
Okay.
We still have scheduled for this year an additional 5 teacher release days and then on-site collaboration with Carnegie and Eureka.
Okay, thank you. Because that's a lot for the 1.4. It looks like we've just spent just a little over half.
And that one continues to go. Sarah Colburn is working with school sites specifically on integrated and designated ELD instruction, as well as we just took a field trip down to a school in the Central Valley to learn more about their ELD program.
Thank you for that clarifying.
Can I make one clarification on the budget? So the budgeted expenditures are what were in the original LCAP. So those were our budget estimates when we adopted our budget. So we do anticipate some of those budget numbers will change throughout the year, especially with salary increases. But right now, what that represents is just our original budget amounts that were included in the LCAP. The estimated actuals are actual expenditures that we've incurred essentially to date, actually January. So we will expect those to increase as well. On the budget adoption for math curriculum implementation, we had just estimated how much we would spend on the first year because we do have the payments going to our textbook providers over a 2 or 3 year period. So that was our original estimate, and the way they broke up the invoicing, it's a little higher this year, but then next year probably would be less than what we anticipated.
You know, that is why you have your job. We'll keep you. Thank you for that. That makes sense.
Our youngest learners benefited from the TK Bridge Camp. We budgeted and fully expended $7,836 last year during the summer program. We budgeted $266,487 for career technical education and college career readiness. Our estimated spending is $153,716, which puts us currently under budget. We allocated $62,500 for our summer school literacy development and spent $54,045, leaving this action under budget. And over our summer enrichment program, we budgeted $1,224,489 and currently have spent $520,429. $520,429. Too many numbers. This is why Todd does numbers and I do education. And lastly, our high school credit recovery is another area we have exceeded our initial budget. We allocated $44,000. Our estimated actual spending has already reached $114,296. And within our district literacy assessment and diagnostic alignment, we budgeted $101,155 and have spent to date $11,700. This mid-year review provides a snapshot of our progress, and we are committed to our fiscal responsibility in ensuring aligning our resources with our student needs. As we review the current progress of LCAP Goal 1, we are happy to celebrate the following achievements. Our English learner students demonstrated growth in math. Our reclassified fluent English proficient students showed significant improvement in ELA with a 14.43% increase and A to G completion with a 5.2% increase. Likewise, North Tahoe High School maintained a high AP passage rate as Truckee High School continued to demonstrate AP excellence in their courses, both earning national recognition. Based on our mid-year review of LCAP Goal 1, we have identified growth opportunities and have implemented the following next steps. Metric 1.1 through 1.3 designated ELD PLC support and district-wide math walkthroughs to support teachers in implementing the new math program. K-12 release days for math-focused professional development, emphasizing scope and sequence, assessment alignment, and site PLC teacher collaboration time, as well as progress monitoring of our ELA intervention students, release days with our ELA interventionist, attendance reviews through the AP PLCs, and data reviews building our SPSAs. As we move into Goal 2, by 2026-2027, TTUSD will address the needs of our learners through continued enhancement to safety and wellness programs, counseling resources for academic achievement, effective learning environments, facilities, and infrastructures for students, staff, and educators. The following slides will provide a comprehensive look at our metrics, highlighting our successes and areas we need to focus our attention. Within LCAP Goal 2 metrics, the percentage of students identified for special education services has not changed within metric 2.1. However, we have observed some shifts within our subgroups. The percentage of Hispanic students identified for these services increased from 20% to 35.5%, while English learners' identification rate decreased from 22% to 12.5%. Our target for all students is 12%, for Hispanic students 35%, and for English learners 15%. Within our teacher qualifications, we strive to ensure high qualified educators teaching all of our students. Currently, 89.5% of our TTUSD teachers meet state certification requirements. While this is a slight decrease from our baseline of 90.7%, we are working to reach our target goal of 98%. Regarding instructional materials, we are pleased to report that we continue to provide our students with 100% of necessary materials. This maintains our baseline and meets our target, ensuring our students have the resources to succeed. Our overall suspension rate has slightly decreased from 1.5% to 1.4%. However, we have observed an increase in suspension rates for our Hispanic students from 1.5% to 2.1%, and for our English learners from 1.7% to 2.0%. We've seen declines in suspension rates for our socially economically disadvantaged students from 8% to 2.2%, for students with disabilities from 3% to 2.9%, and for our homeless students from 3% to 1.2%. Our target for all student groups is a suspension rate of less than 1%. We proudly report that our expulsion rate remains at 0%, maintaining our baseline and meeting our target. We have made significant strides in chronic absenteeism. Overall, chronic absenteeism rate has dropped from 20% to 12.4%. We've seen similar reductions across all student subgroups, including our white, Hispanic, English learners, socioeconomically disadvantaged students, students with disabilities, and homeless students. This improvement reflects our collective efforts to address attendance challenges, ensure that our students are in the classroom learning. Regarding our facilities, we reported that 0% of the facilities met the good repair standard. This has increased to 4% at mid-year. Our target is to return to 0%. And within our transportation department, we have seen an increase in the number of students transported from 2,345 to 2,553. This is a positive increase that reflects our commitment to providing access to education for all students, including all subgroups. We have seen a decrease in our high school dropout rate from 2.6% to 1.8%. Our target is 2%. Our middle school dropout rate remains at 0%, maintaining our baseline and meeting our target. The mini DESA screener, which measures social emotional needs at our elementary site, has shown a slight overall increase in the percentage of students identified as needing support from 5% to 6%. While we saw a decrease for our white students, we observed increases for our Hispanic, English learners, socioeconomically disadvantaged, and students with disabilities. Within metric 2.11, student support, we have seen a slight increase from 81% to 83% across all respondents. Small similar increases are seen for our English learners. SED students showed no change, while awareness decreased slightly for our students with disability. This mid-year data provides a valuable snapshot of our progress and helps us to identify areas for refining our strategies. The following slides will track the financial progress of various goals and Goal 2 actions. We will report on current expenditures to this date. In mental health supports and services, we budgeted $1,718,580 to provide vital mental health resources for our students. As of the mid-year point, we have spent $917,547. Maintaining and improving our facilities is critical to providing a safe and conducive learning environment. We budgeted $6,382,712 for facility maintenance, and our spending to date is $4,160,605. This action is currently under budget. Again, mid-year, so we're still moving. Safe transportation ensures that all students, including those with disabilities, can access their education. We budgeted $890,361 for this, and we have spent $428,813 to date. We budgeted $39,868 for our analytic monitoring system for attendance, behavior, and academic progress. As of today, we have spent $98,046. This mid-year review shares our progress in supporting our students through these actions. This slide summarizes the successful outcomes of the LCAP Goal 2 mid-year review. The district achieved 100% compliance in providing state-adopted curriculum and instructional materials with no issues found in the Williams complaint protocol. The overall suspension rate slightly decreased to 1.4%, approaching the target less than 1%. And the district maintains a 0% expulsion rate, demonstrating the effectiveness of PBIS and restorative practices. Based on the mid-year review of LCAP Goal 2, we have identified growth opportunities and will implement the following next steps. The district will prioritize intensive support for LTELs through our focused work with the Placer County Office of Education, focusing on the root cause of high suspension rate and low academic success. The district will ensure continued access to state-adopted curriculum and instructional materials through teacher release days and field testing of a new ELA curriculum in January 2026. We will continue with rigorous monitoring and support systems that will be maintained to support curricular implementation. Disaggregated discipline data will be continuously monitored by the district's AP PLCs to identify trends and guarantee equitable support for all students. By 2026-2027, TTUSD will proactively support belonging and inclusion for all students, families, educators, and staff, and continue to develop strong community connections to each other and the valuable, precious resources in the Tahoe Truckee region. Within our LCAP Goal 3, Staff Emotional Climate addresses harassment and bullying. We track the percentage of staff who almost never experience such incidents across several categories. At the same time, the overall percentages have remained relatively consistent between our baseline and mid-year point. Our current mid-year data shows that 96% of staff report almost never experiencing harassment or bullying based on religion, 92% based on disabilities, 87% based on ethnicity or skin color, and 90% based on sex. Our target for all these categories is 94%, and we are committed to creating a respectful and inclusive environment for our staff. Within metric 3.2, student emotional climate, we measured the percentage of elementary, middle, and high school students who feel a sense of belonging at school. We've seen encouraging increases across the board between our baseline and this mid-year point. Currently, 51% of all students report feeling a sense of belonging, 73% of English learners, 75% of socioeconomically disadvantaged students, and 75% of students with disabilities. Our target for all these categories is 60%, and we are pleased with this positive trend. Within metric 3.3, parent and family engagement, we track the percentage of families who agree or strongly agree that the district schools encourage parent involvement. While we've seen slight increases overall, and for some subgroups, the perception of our race ethnicity group has improved more significantly. Our current mid-year data shows that 77% of all families feel encouraged to be involved. 79% of people of color, multiracial families, 76% of white families, 77% of families in the race ethnicity category, and 93% of families of English learners, and 86% of families of students with disabilities. Within the metrics 3.5 and 3.6, community involvement and student voice, we've seen an increase in the percentage of students, staff, and families who agree or strongly agree that the district schools encourage community involvement, rising from 79% to 89% overall. Similar increases are seen for English learners and socioeconomically disadvantaged students, with a slight increase for our students with disabilities. Our targets are 89% for all, 90% for English learners, 88% for socially economically disadvantaged students, and 91% for students with disabilities. Regarding student voice, the percentage of students, staff, and families who agree or strongly agree that teachers and staff listen to students has increased overall from 72% to 79%. We also see increases for English learners, socioeconomically disadvantaged students, and students with disabilities. Our targets are 82% for all, 91% for English learners, 88% for socioeconomically disadvantaged students, and 95% for students with disabilities. The following slide will track the financial progress of various Goal 3 actions. For metric 3.1, support belonging and inclusion, we budgeted $1,500 for this work. No spending has been reported since mid-year. We allocated $45,000 to enhancing outreach and resource at transition points. We have spent slightly more than this, totaling $47,500. This action is slightly over budget, and our commitment to increasing family engagement is reflective in our budget of $783,948. We have spent $431,148 to date, and this action is under budget. The mid-year review of LCAP Goal 3 yielded positive results regarding school climate and student engagement. The LCAP survey showed improvement in almost all school climate and engagement areas. English learner families reported the greatest increase in their feeling of belonging within the school community. And more survey participants strongly agreed that they were happy with both school site and district leadership. Based on the mid-year review of LCAP Goal 3, we have identified growth opportunities and will implement the following next steps. TTUSD will continue to develop strategies to ensure all families feel included in school activities. The district will continue monitoring its community engagement initiatives to ensure students and families feel welcome and included in community programs and partnerships. And TTUSD will continue to analyze data and develop a plan to ensure families feel heard and valued. TTUSD is committed to ensuring all students receive a high-quality education. We have identified the following priorities to help achieve this goal. We have implemented professional development, site support, and professional collaboration opportunities to improve academic outcomes for all students. We will introduce a new SEL assessment tool and curricula for K-12 and 25-26 to support the development of our students' social emotional health and mental wellness. We will ensure all students can access high-quality educational opportunities and resources through curriculum development and learning opportunities. And we will continue to work within our community engagement initiative, supporting at sites to strengthen partnerships with families and the broader community to support student success. We sincerely thank our dedicated staff, the TTUS Board of Trustees, our TTUSD families, and our students for their continued efforts in reaching their full potential. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that. That was a lot of material. It's all in one spot, which is great. Quick question, it is on the website somewhere?
Yes.
And that would be, where is this on the website?
Well, right now it's on the agenda, and then I can have Amber add it to the website.
And then it will just be, if I were to look for it?
We can put it under educational services.
Okay.
There's a section for some of our reports, and then we can also link it from the homepage.
Okay. So on the homepage, it can be linked, or on the educational services link?
We can do a news post.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Just in case anyone is watching and wanting to know. All right, any comments from our board members?
Not that I want to simplify this, but if I was boiling down sort of everything in this report, I would have sort of the monitoring component, and I would have the adaptation sort of new strategy component, sort of as my takeaways, just in that as a district, we're constantly assessing, and yes, this is a requirement, but we tailor it to what our students need. And as part of that, if we recognize that something's maybe not achieving the goals that we have, we're going back in and figuring out what are those strategies, like how are we helping to improve the categories where it's not meeting the marks that we want. So I just think, boiling it down to something that's tangible for me, it really does go back to sort of the accountability factor and how we're looking at this information continuously and then adapting and being flexible as we need to try and have influence, because frankly, sometimes, students just have different, it's like the CASP testing, they might have had a bad day, or, it just wasn't resonating with them the way that particular test was written. And so it's not necessarily all an indicator of everything, but it's that metric that we're using so that we've got tools to go back in and try and figure out how we can better support students. So that was very well presented. No, it wasn't too long. And I think this will be helpful for parents, if they want to go in and have that snapshot, to even have the, if we link the LCAP on the website, to put your presentation with it, because then they can kind of scroll through together. So I think that would be helpful. Mm-hmm. But I really appreciate all the work that went into it.
Thank you.
I think I can't even imagine how much time this must have taken you. I am really impressed with the amount of data you just presented us with, Sean. I mean, it's really incredible. I feel like as a visual learner myself, the way that I can better understand data sets such as these, where you're showing like presented, current goal and then desired outcome and, various different stages of a time interval, that it would be really helpful to see it in like a bar graph representation. Because I found myself having some difficulty maintaining the degree of focus to be able to fully ascertain the granularity of the data that you were showing us. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to be able to see it like again, or once it's posted on, the web, to be able to appreciate it from that perspective. Because I think I would have a better understanding of it, and I might actually even be able to come up with some questions. Because it's like, I'm just in overflow mode, and I'm like trying to like not get distracted by taking too many notes, but I do have some questions, but I want to be able to ask them from a more informed standpoint. So thank you.
I'll work on that. I'll get that to you.
I mean, not to give you any more work. I feel awful saying this.
That's why we do this.
Yeah, okay. I feel like it'll make a stronger impression to be able to not have to see it through like a qualitative presentation, right? More quantitative. Yeah.
And if that's what you need, there's somebody else out there that needs it as well, so we'll make that adjustment.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was having some anxiety about even talking about it, but I'm glad that you understand. Thank you.
I like bar charts and graphs too, so I think that's just an add, and it's another way for someone to visually look at the information. So I think that's just, useful. Like you said, if you need it, someone else needs it. So I think that would be helpful.
I do laugh because I was thinking of my friend Kirsten over here, and I just wrote, it's definitely, how do you take this dry material that is important, but it's, quote unquote, it's not like outdoor ed, but how do you make it more stimulating? And I said, this may just be my brain, that how do we, and again, if I'm a parent reading it, I want to know really where we are doing well and where we're not. So how do we bring it into, like, we needed this for budget and all of us to understand, are we following strategic plans? Are we making the teachers accountable for what we've said we want for goals? But in terms of, as a parent, I want to just get either a snapshot or more work is, but you've already done it. So you've already done the Sean work. Now we just need to do the Gloria push button that gets you down. But I think it's hard because it's important, but and you see it and you understand it. So it's to roll off your tongue is easy, but we as not in the midst of it, but also as a parent who's trying to understand, like, why am I going to vote for this and say yes to spending money here, or why am I going to do whatever in that school system? And I don't understand those numbers. And so all I said was simplicity, highlighting, just highlights, and then making it so that it is, again, both the bar graph or a different visual, I think is the easier way to say it, where it's just an easy, if I were, just a general public parent, how do I get sort of the meat of what we're doing? And it may not be possible. It may just be that is a lot of stuff. As Kirsten said, it's a lot of data, but we need it. And we have a lot of different entities that you're working with, but yeah, don't make more work. Make Anna Marie do it.
Anna Marie has enough work to do. We will make it happen.
Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for, obviously this is, I think you did ask for support and guidance, and I
100%.
appreciate the fact that we were comfortable doing it in public where everyone sees that we're all kind of working together to make this happen. Thank you for your inputs.
We're getting ready to, thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And it wasn't that. My thing isn't even on. Rory, I didn't get any of that. None of that got told. Dang it, North Tahoe High School students, artwork is lovely on the wall. Usually I don't forget that. Okay, moving us to 15.0, Superintendent Kramer.
Yes, and for the first four first reads, again, those are info only, and Dr. Anna Marie Cohen, our Executive Director of Student Services, will be addressing those first four first reads.
All right, thank you and good evening. This first read is a proposed revision to Board Policy 5113, absences and excuses, and it reflects changes in law from Senate Bill 955 and Assembly Bill 181, adding participation in civic or political events as an excused absence for students in middle and high school. Additionally, absences for the benefit of mental or behavioral health purposes are excused, and absences for participation in religious exercise or to receive moral and religious instruction are excused. In order for districts to receive ADA funding for the latter type of absence, the governing board must adopt a resolution permitting an excused absence for such purposes. This is a first read, and for information only, it'll be brought back to the board for approval next month.
Thank you for that. Any questions or comments on this item 15.1? All right, and we'll bring that back if you're okay. So back to you, Superintendent.
Dr. Cohen, 15.2.
All right. This is a first read of proposed revision to Board Policy 5131.41, use of seclusion and restraint. This regulation is updated to clarify the limited exception when seclusion and/or behavioral constraint may be used, and to reflect it cannot be applied for longer than necessary to contain the dangerous behavior. Additionally, documentation requirements have been updated. This is a first read for information only and will be brought back next month.
Thank you very much. Any board comments? Thank you. We will bring that back. Superintendent Kramer, 15.3.
Dr. Cohen.
This is a first read of proposed revision to Board Policy 6173.1, Education for Foster Youth, in which the policy has been updated to reflect the need to report to CDE the number of foster youth who in the prior year graduated with an exemption from district-established graduation requirements that are in addition to statewide coursework requirements, as well as requirements for notification of school of origin, transportation rights, and transfer of coursework and graduation rights. Again, this is a first read for information only and will be brought back for approval next month.
Thank you very much. Any board comments or questions on that item? Seeing none, back to you, Superintendent Kramer.
One more from Dr. Cohen.
Okay, and lastly, this is a first read of proposed revision to Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 6173, Education for Homeless Children. This policy and regulation is being updated to reflect the district is required to establish homeless education program policies and to update them every 3 years, as well as language changes from homeless student to a student experiencing homelessness. This is a first read for information only and will be brought back next month.
Thank you for that whirlwind adventure on the first reads. Any comments on 15.4? Moving on to 15.5, Superintendent Kramer.
Yes, and this is unique. We don't often do this, that we are proposing to our board to delete Board Policy 0470, which was our COVID-19 mitigation plan. It is no longer necessary, and important things we learned and concepts have been incorporated into other policies. So specifically, Board Policy 470 is no longer needed. So staff recommends that it come back to you as a deletion at the next meeting.
Can't say that I've ever been in a deletion mode.
That's exciting. Yeah. And particularly about that subject.
So, any comments? Okay, thank you. We'll bring that back. And then Superintendent Kramer?
And for our last three first reads, we'll be turning to our Assistant Superintendent Chief Business Officer, Mr. Todd Rivera.
Thank you, Superintendent Chief Learning Officer Kramer, President Driller, members of the board. So tonight we bring to you a first read of proposed revisions to Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 7214, which relates to the issuance of general obligation bonds. In the board policy, really, it's just cleanup language and adding some language in there that that states that the board may direct the superintendent to explore general obligation bond measures through surveys, community focus groups, et cetera. So that's something we've always done, but now it's actually clarified in board policy. And then most of the revisions really are to our administrative regulations, which have been updated to include requirements of what needs to be included in ballot materials if we do go out for general obligation bond. So that includes that at least 88 days prior to the election, the superintendent must deliver the applicable ballot materials to the officer conducting the election. Additionally, the ballot materials need to include the ballot question not to exceed 75 words. Also, that the ballot materials include a brief statement of the measure setting forth the amount of bonds to be voted on, the maximum rate of interest, and the purpose for which the proceeds of the sale of bonds are to be used. Also, for bond measures that require 55% vote, which are Prop 39 bonds, which is generally what our district goes out for, there needs to be a statement in those materials that we will have a Citizens Oversight Committee to basically oversee the expenditures of those bond proceeds. In addition, there's also the add of the new law that requires in the ballot materials that we need to state the tax rate that will be a result of the general obligation bond approval by voters, and that's the per $100,000 of assessed value. And then also, actually, that's it.
Thank you for that update. Any comments from the board? Thank you for that. I'll bring it back to you, Superintendent Kramer.
Mr. Rivera, 15.7, please.
Thank you. So this is a first read of revisions to board policy and administrative regulation 3516, which relates to emergencies and disaster preparedness plans. So in the actual board policy, it's just updated with new law from Senate Bill 323, which was passed in 2023, which requires that our emergency preparedness plans to include adaptations for students with disabilities in accordance with the Federal Individuals and Disabilities Education Act. And this is something that we actually touched on our new requirements for our comprehensive school safety plans as well at the last meeting. And then our regulations, AR has been updated to include basically procedures and also that we need to include attacks or threat of attacks to the district's digital network and technology infrastructure as one of our emergencies that we have a plan for in the emergency preparedness plan, and also establishing procedures to do routine monitoring of the security of our digital infrastructure and technology infrastructure network, which our technology department is already one step ahead and doing a great job.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Comments from the board? Seeing none. Move that on to consent for next board meeting, and then back to you, Superintendent Chief Learning Officer Kramer.
One more, 15.8 from Mr. Rivera.
Okay, this is the first read of proposed revisions to Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 3400, which is concerning the management of district assets and accounts. So the policy has been updated to reflect new law, Senate Bill 1439, which makes specific requirements of complying with the district's conflict of interest policy as is specified in our board bylaw 9270. So that's just making sure that if we have a conflict of interest, that board members are abstaining from voting on certain contracts, but also disclosing that if they do have any types of conflicts of interest with regards to contracts and any financial impacts. In addition, the regulation has also been updated to clarify that the district needs to utilize California Department of Education's standardized accounting code structure software to develop our financial reports, and that the district's accounting system should comply with generally accepted accounting principles prescribed by GASB. And In addition, it's also been updated to list the different types of actions that constitute fraud and any financial improprieties or irregularities, which also includes now the addition fraud could be a conflict of interest, as was stated before. Also that the district and superintendent should be required to cooperate with the county superintendent of schools and the fiscal crisis management assistant team in the event that there is a fraud investigation.
That was a lot. Any questions from the board on that? That's a lot. Yeah, I think that that can be brought back to consent. And moving to 16.0, we have flown through. Kirsten, anything to add from your last 2 weeks of excitement? I'm very depressed to say something did cancel in your realm of life.
That's okay.
We were going to go just listen to your anxious generation.
Anxious Nation.
Anxious Nation.
There's a little bit of confusion because there's two. But that's okay, because I heard good news that we're going to be able to do, I mean, I don't know if we're talking about that publicly.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be able to have an opportunity to do it district-wide in April.
Yep.
April 9th and 10th.
Yes, so the Anxious Nation documentary is coming to our district on April 8th and April 10th.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're one for Lakeside and one for Truckee Side. So we'll get you the details soon.
Thank you for that. That's going to be exciting. Other than that, not too much.
Okay.
No, nothing really. I mean, I was excited to hear that maybe the attendance didn't drop as much as we thought it might have with the spring break, because I know we're still trying to feel that out and have a couple years worth of data to kind of see if we need to address the calendar. But it seems like maybe some people are picking and choosing, kind of from what I've heard from different people, that they're doing like one, either sort of the February break or they're doing the April break, but they're not doing both, like where they might kind of bookend. So maybe it's helping people pick and kind of keep our attendance higher. So that seems exciting.
I was surprised, yeah.
I definitely noticed that the other schools around are all off. They're all here. So that's, again, it's going to be one of those things. And I do keep telling everyone, if you are interested in this calendar, there is a committee, and just, you can input and provide information to that, because it is a moving target, and there are pros and cons to both. So I was going to say that the cross-country race that is at North Tahoe was canceled last Friday, but it's been rescheduled for this Friday at noon at North Tahoe, which would be very exciting. I think it's noon. Might be a little earlier. I know the kids can get back to school by 1, so it may be starting.
Start at 10:30.
Yeah, it might start earlier than noon. So it definitely is a morning event. Please don't come in the afternoon. It looks like the Tahoe cross-country people are doing some cutting of trees this week. Like, they were supposed to be cutting trees on that, like they've marked it all and they had rope up. So when I was there, I actually helped out with the cross-country team Monday, Tuesday of last week. Just to ski with the middle school kids, which is pretty fun. And then I did get to go watch one of the Tahoe Lake Elementary School's hockey games at the Tahoe City Hockey Rink. Totally want one of those jerseys, but funny as, there's tons of kids that go there, and they're all, like, they're from Kings Beach and Tahoe City, but funny. And then I think that's all I did as well. Just played.
Where's the Tahoe City Hockey Rink?
Behind it's behind Safeway, and it's like at the golf course. They just put one out. They just made one.
Really?
But it's 3-on-3. It is, and the goals are tough. They're like, they have to get through a little thing it's crazy, but really fun. So which is totally neat. Glad to use our little Parks and Rec. And then with that, we're out, 6:56.